All right, hi all. Welcome to our virtual program. Our program will be starting momentarily. We're just waiting on everyone to join. And welcome to Navigating Value Line. All right, welcome to Navigating Value Line. My name is Aisha, and I'm a librarian here at Haggard Library in the Plano Public Library System. I'll be presenting today's program. I'm joined by Stephanie, who will be moderating the chat. Before we begin, we need to let you know about some ground rules that we set up for today's program. You will be muted during the class, and we have your video blocked. You will only see the instructor's screen. At the top of the screen, you can find an exit full screen option if you need to get to other things on your computer. You are welcome to ask questions or request that the instructor repeat information at any time during today's program. You should see an icon at the bottom of your screen that says chat. I'll click on that to open the chat window. Chat is set to be seen by the library staff only. If you prefer, you may also use the Q&A feature located at the bottom of your screen to ask questions. Please note that any inappropriate questions or comments will cause your immediate removal from today's class. For all questions, we may answer you directly in the chat or Q&A box. Hold the question until a break or at the end of the class. Or if it is pressing, we might try to answer it right away. We will be using the instructor's screen to demonstrate and may share additional resources in the chat as well. A recording of today's program will be available in a few days. So if you would like to watch today's program and practice with your recording later, that is an option. With the ground rules out of the way, let's get started. So, today we'll be providing the basic overview of Value Line database, including what Value Line is, how to access it, and a demonstration of the database and its features. This database is available to all Plano Public Library card holders for free. If you are not a Plano Public Library card holder, please check with your local library to learn more about the database, about database's availability and access. Before we start, we have a little bit of a class disclaimer. Instructors are not business or investing experts. The purpose of this class is to provide general information about the library resource, and the purpose also is to provide an overview of Value Line database. For business expertise, please connect with the Dallas Score Mentor. Mentors are available at each week at the Schimmelpfennig Library and Parr Library for a free consultation. For more information and to register for a consultation with Dallas Score Mentor, please visit score.org/Dallas or the PlanoLibrary.org. All right, so what is Value Line? So Value Line offers a comprehensive investment research on companies, industries, markets, and economies. It provides information on stocks in more than 90 industries and helps you to evaluate over 6,000 stocks, 18,000 mutual funds, 200,000 options, and other securities. This information is constantly updated for accuracy. Within the database, you have access to the features that the Plano Public Library subscribes to. This includes resources like daily market updates during the work week, the economic calendar, a summary and index for the upcoming week, supplementary reports on individual companies, weekly small and mid-cap rank changes, investment education resources, investment news, and more. Unfortunately, there are some investment tools that are not accessible through the library subscription. And we do have a links in the chat about Value Line. Right. So how do you access Value Line? So the easiest way to access it is to go to our library. So that's library webpage. That's planolibrary.org. You do need just a disclaimer, you do need your library card number and a library card to access this resource. Once you're on our website, you're going to select Research and Learn, then Business, then scroll down because our databases are alphabetized. Go to Value Line and then Access Now. You'll be asked to enter your Plano library card number and then click on Login. If you don't have a Plano library card, again, please visit our website to review requirements and apply if you're eligible. I will put the link in the chat to where you can find the information. All right, so before we move on to like database demonstration, does anyone have any questions about library or what we're covering today? Okay, so let me go ahead and pull up my web page. So yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and switch screens so you guys can see my website. So, all right. So you should be able to see our main library landing page. And so I'm just going to demonstrate how we access Value Line. So when you come to planolibrary.org, you're going to go to Library. You can either hover on the drop down on this list and go to Research and Learn, which is under Learn. Or if you scroll down, you should be able to find it over here in the How Can We Help You section, which will be under Databases. From here, you'll go to Specifically Business, and then scroll down until you hit Value Line, and you'll click on Access Now. You'll come to this page, and this is where you'll enter in your library card, your library card number. So I'm just going to stop share as I enter in mine. And once you've completed this, you'll be taken to the Value Line main page. So I'll give you a couple minutes. Try to access it on your own. If you have any questions or gives you trouble, go ahead and drop a question in the chat. All right. So now that we're on the landing page, you'll see the dashboard. So as you can see, we are on the dashboard. It has that line above that word. To make sure you get access to everything available through the library, verify that there's a message on the top right of the screen that says, "Welcome to Plano Public Library," right over here, right next to settings. That means that you are in Value Line using the Plano Library subscription. If you're ever in the dashboard and the message does not appear, your connection may have timed out or you may have been logged out. So you'll just need to repeat the process by going back to our webpage and clicking Access Now. This is the only way to log in to our subscription. So at the top of the page, you have the menu bar. So this is this black bar that has a dashboard, browse research, market, find ideas, investment, education, subscribe, and institutional. Below, we have this quick links section. And in this quick links section, everything that is in blue is what you have access to using the Plano library subscription. Everything that's grayed out, you do not have access to using our subscription. Under investment education, so before we jump into the specific sections, we do want to emphasize this one in particular. As you get more comfortable navigating Value Line, an important component is the tools guide under investment education. So this is where you can kind of learn more on how to use. So the tools guide in specific will help you with learning more about your investments. It has articles on how to effectively use different tools that Value Line provides. In addition, you can also find Value Line University, which is a four-part series over here that walks users through the basics of investing and how Value Line ties into it. So going back to our dashboard, things that we want to point out is the featured commentary section, which will have that day's report or the most recent report written by Value Line staff. You can read the reports by clicking read more under each or view all featured commentaries to browse the archive. So the latest one on top will be today's. And by clicking read more, you'll see the bigger article. And down here is where you can see all the featured commentaries. The quote box, which is over here at the top, allows you to search by company name or ticker symbol. For example, if you start typing in 3M, you'll see the specific company pop up and you can just click on it. If you type in the ticker symbol, you can click on quote and the same company page will load. So you can either click on it this way or click on quote. And that gives you more of the company details, and we'll explore a bit more about this later. But let's go back to our dashboard. So here are some of the most important products and tools that you can use. And one of the ones that we're going to kind of zoom in on is going to be the VLIS, which is the Value Line Investment Survey. So by clicking on this one's the current issue. One benefit of using Value Line online is that you have access to that week's survey before it arrives at the library. So these are the updates. And if you go back and we click on this, sorry, it gives you the more Value Line Investment Survey. This is the small mid cap, and we'll talk about more of these in a minute. So going back to our dashboard, at the top right of the quick link section, we're going to click on Summary and Index. And this is going to give us a printable PDF with the summary and index portion of that week's survey. It's printable and searchable, so you can definitely, it is a 40-page document. You can either choose to go Control F, and then you can start searching for specific companies, words, or industries. There's a way to narrow it down. For example. And then we're going to go back to our dashboard to explore the other options. So we're going to click on Selection and Opinion, which also gives you another printable PDF that contains this document. These are more articles, again, written by the Value Line staff. Back on the dashboard, you'll see additional documents that go with that week's report, such as a small and mid-cap summary and index and the supplementary reports. For the supplementary reports, you can click on Print Report on the top right after selecting a report to print it. So that's going to be here, so you can kind of get to those and choose which supplementary reports you want. So if it's for today, we have this one, as well as one on NRG Energy, for example. Finally, the week stocks with commentary and the rank changes for the survey will also be available as lists. And that's going back to that BLIS, rank changes, or current issue. So those kind of present the same data in different ways. So with the current issue, you will see a created list of items with recent commentary. You can see the parameter set in the address bar. So over here, we're pretty much looking at a whole bunch of things, but we can kind of change it up over here as well as by customizing. From here, you can also click on the R&R cover page at the top right. This will open the front page of the ratings and reports section of the survey. So that's over here. Again, it's a PDF list. Back in the commentary updates list, you can click on each individual company to view their individual report page. So if you wanted to click on American Airlines, for example. So just like before, we do have, well, they give you some more little pop-ups to kind of help guide you about information. But we do have our little PDF report. So if you want to print this off, you can do that over there. Back on the company page, you can review the different sections of the report to find the information you need. If you're going to spend a lot of time on this page, it's good to know you can customize the view. On the right-hand side of the page, there is a hidden menu. So this is this little bar that seems to be scrolling with me. So when I hover over it, you get to see all the different widgets that you can kind of add or remove. You can click on any one of them and the page will scroll to that information. So for example, if I wanted to know their specific earnings, click on that and it'll jump towards earnings. So here it is over here. The information on the page is contained in these small modules or boxes. If you hover over the top of each one, you can see different viewing options. You can hide any section by clicking on hide. So if I hover over it, I don't really want to see it anymore, click on that and it disappears from my view. To unhide, use the hidden menu on the right. So we go back over here. And then so everything's going to be down here. That's been hidden. And we click on it again and it pops up. And you can also click and drag things if you want it to appear further up or move things down. This is just to kind of help you prioritize what you're looking at for each of these companies, because it is a lot of information. Okay, so one last thing before we move on to our next section. For help in interpreting the information on these pages, we suggest reviewing the information under the investment education, both the tool guides that guide you through the different sections and Value Line University, which teaches you about investing. It is a lot of information, and for the purposes of this class, we're not going to get too down to the nitty-gritty. We just want to give you an overview of everything this database has. So with that in mind, I'm just going to pause if you have any questions. So I'll give you a minute before we move on to browsing research. Okay. So back on our dashboard page, we're going to look back into that menu bar and we're going to click on Browse Research. So the first part of the tab is the recently searched section. Here you can see the 3M that we had searched, as well as American Airlines and Aberdeen Australia Equity Fund Incorporated. Below that, you can find the Value Line featured lists. This includes lists and screens created by Value Line staff with popular parameters. So this is the recent timelines, for example, updates, recent commentary updates, and they have a couple other ones that you can pretty much browse through, or if you're doing it by industries. To the right is the coverage universe. This list shows the companies you have full analysis access to through the library. Not all stocks are represented, so this is a good section if you want an overview of available resources. So for example, Library Elite, when you click over here, it gives you, these are the companies that you can definitely get full information on. Next, we're going to talk about markets. So market sections include the daily articles with stock market updates and predictions. It also includes the economic calendar, which combines upcoming major events relevant to investors. So you have, here's your articles, here's our calendar. When we click on the calendar, you can kind of see what's going on in May. You could do it by whichever month you're, however far ahead you want to look. Okay, and then next, if you're just starting out and maybe this is all very overwhelming, which trust me, you are not alone in that, you'll want to click on Find Ideas. Here you can find different resources. At the top, you have some model portfolios. So this is that this green bar. There's some model portfolios, stock screener, as well as many other stuff like watch lists, alert hubs, and so forth. So under model portfolios, these are created by Value Line staff to represent different investment strategies. So we're going to look at portfolio one to give you a better idea. Look over here. So over here we have portfolio one. And it kind of gives you a bit of ideas of when this was published, so how recent it is, what is pretty much in here, and their thought process behind it. You can see a blurb, yeah. And then this is a list of all the chosen stocks. And they'll also explain to you like what kind of investor the portfolio is geared towards. For example, portfolio one is geared towards more aggressive investors. These models are not stagnant. Value Line updates them regularly. So that's why the date is kind of important, and keep that in mind that you might want to check back in to see how it changes. Look at portfolio two. Those are different. So they're great little things to explore, and it's one way to kind of like, if you're overwhelmed with choices, this gives you at least a beginning point to kind of start with. Now back to screener. So another way to analyze this information to guide your investing is through the screener. The screener is a powerful tool that allows you to evaluate data using your chosen parameters. This is useful if you want to evaluate data beyond what the weekly survey provides. You can select a number of different criteria on the left-hand side of the screen to narrow down the information you want to review. So here we go. So this is all of our little filters. A great feature is the value line preset screens. At the very top, you can review the screen value line staff has already created that fit the type of information you are looking for. So this is over here. So if you're like looking for stuff that has the highest dividend yielding stocks, for example, those parameters have already been put in place for you. And here it is. You can also look by. So when it kind of narrowed it down to 1,929 matches, and you can change these ranges to kind of help you see more things. So if you click filter, it might increase it or lower that. So you can toggle the results also to only show stocks that you have access through the Plano library, public library. So let's go over here, scroll down to gosh, that was it. Oh. And then you can also, there are several tabs to further analyze results. You get the first tab is criteria. It will show you the company name, the ticker symbol, and criteria selected. You can change it up by doing industry, annual rates, probability, and so forth. I'm sorry if I forgot to mention it. So here's where you can show only the available stocks only, on or off. So if it's on, these are the only ones that we have access to through our Plano Public Library. So now let's say we want to know more about the stock price. So we can kind of add that. Let's go to basic criteria. We're going to get to there's stock price. Now we'll add it in so you can kind of know what it's like. So these screens can be modified and changed up as you like them. You can reset it if you want to start back from 0 and so forth. And you can make the screen bigger if it makes it easier to read. The pop-up. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So one more before we kind of wind down our presentation. One thing to know is that you can say, so currently you're not allowed to save screens, which would be great. I know some other subscriptions with the libraries have that access. But that's why it's always good to kind of like take note of what you searched through. The screeners that they've already created are very, very useful. And we definitely recommend, thankfully your recently searches do show up here. So that might be one way to kind of keep track of things that you've looked at. You can also like customize the columns to kind of add more information if you need them. Okay. Any questions about Value Line, how to access it? I know it's a lot of information and some of it might feel like a broad overview, but that's because it's a lot of information and the best way to kind of learn how to use this tool is by using it and by checking out, again, the investment education section. Okay. So let me switch back to our PowerPoint. So things to kind of do and know. You do have access to additional resources such as Book a Librarian or Ask a Librarian. So if you feel after watching this demonstration, you want more one-on-one help with our librarian, you can definitely do a Book a Librarian and send in your question, and a librarian will reach out to you for like some one-on-one time. Usually, most of our Book a Librarians do last about half an hour. You also have access to TWOS, which is a great monthly program that we have. It is held here at Haggard on Tuesdays. TWOS stands for Team Up for Entrepreneurship Success, and we do this program in partnership with Dallas Score, and also at Schimmelpfennig, and I believe another one of our libraries. We do have the Dallas Score Mentors, which you can sign up for one-on-one time with Dallas Score with a mentor to kind of give you ideas and help in starting your own small business. You also have access to our adult nonfiction collection. A lot of our content that's going to be related to stocks and the economy is going to be in the 330s. So definitely check that out at any one of our 5 locations. You can also go to our Plano Library YouTube channel. That's where most of our programming that's virtual is loaded up, as well as you can search through our other databases, such as the Morningstar Investing Center, which you have access to, Reference Solutions, Gale One File Business, Gale Business Entrepreneurship, LinkedIn Learning, as well as Udemy. So again, as I mentioned with the score mentoring, we do have those by appointment only. They are available from 5 to 8 p.m. on Thursdays at Schimmelpfennig and on Wednesdays at PAR. Tuesdays on Tuesdays at 6:30 at Haggard. Our next one is going to be May 27th. And also, if you're like looking and are interested in your finances, a great program to attend is Guard Your Finances with Officer Be Honest, which is going to be here at Haggard at 2 to 3 p.m. on May 28th. It's a great program to attend. I definitely recommend it. And last but not least, if you have any questions. All right, so just a quick reminder that we did put some great links in the chat. We also did include our handout, which has instructions on how to access the value line resource. And I'll leave the program open for a couple minutes. If you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat. But otherwise, thank you so much for attending our virtual program. Have a great night.